I discovered an exhaust leak between my midpipe and axle back as a small gap had formed towards the bottom of the junction despite the exhaust hangers being in good shape and there was no visible signs of sagging. That leak got worse once the gasket blew out. I got a new gasket, but I had to trim the holes wider since the bolt holes on the 2.5-inch Graphite RS exhaust flange were spaced further apart. Even with it centered and the bolts tightened all the way, I still had a big leak because of that gap. This was the original 2.5-inch gasket I tried using, but the holes weren't wide enough. The innermost distance was 78mm and the widest was 108. I did find another gasket that has wider openings. It goes from 78 to 115mm, but I'm not going to install it since I haven't been able to fix the cause of the gap until I can get the car up on a lift to inspect it. For now, I'm going to try out this 1/8 inch thick Remflex graphite gasket, which can crush up to 50% to help fix a leak. It starts at 89mm and has an open side to allow some flexibility with the flange hole bolt spacing. I'll include a link to all 3 gaskets as well as my digital calipers in the video description below. I already have one bolt removed, but the gap on the bottom is about the same distance as before. You can see some carbon deposits from where it was leaking. With the other bolt off, let's measure the distance between the holes on the Graphite RS exhaust. We have around 95mm rounded up for the inside distance, and about 118 at the widest. So the second gasket I got should probably fit since there's a little leeway with the bolt holes, but it's probably going to be tight. Here's the Remflex gasket. It's extremely light. It's also fragile, so be sure not to accidentally bend it or it may break. While you can sometimes get away with reusing gaskets, this will definitely be one time only. Good thing it comes with 2 in a pack. With one end loosely attached, I'm going to slide the gasket up into place. With the other side loosely attached now, I'm going to use my leg to hold the pipe up so it's lined up, and then I can tighten the bolts equally by doing each side a little at a time. I started supporting the flanges while tightening the bolts, and I still have a large gap at the bottom. I can still tighten it a little bit more. I don't have any torque specs as I'm doing this all by feel. Between the thickness of the gasket and how much it compresses at top, I think this will solve my issue. Using a regular gasket definitely wouldn't have worked, as you can see how bad the gap is here. I'm not sure why it developed, but it probably happened over time because the weight of the axle back is unbalanced with having only 3 hanger points all on the same side. Now to see if it still leaks. That is music to my ears. No more leaking sound. Alright, let's get this on the ground for a test drive, then I have a bunch of errands and more driving to do. I'll check again for leaks in the morning. Perfect. The exhaust is all coming out the muffler and no longer from under the car. Again, I'll put a link to the gaskets as well as all the tools that I've used in the video in the description below. I hope this helps you out if you have a similar issue with your exhaust. If you haven't hit subscribe to my channel yet, please do so now, and as always, thank you for watching.